Welcome back to Canada's Superheroes Ahoy. So today I'll talk about just some mixed comics. So the way it works is I pick up a mixed lot at Worthing. I do try to find out a bit about it, and then if I'm happy, like if there's a reason to get those books, I get them, and usually I pick them up in a sale or so. So this is around 8 or 10 comic books, and I'll talk about what is my thoughts and what is like some takeaways from it. So first we'll start with Absolute Batman. So Absolute Batman, when I first picked up, I'm always skeptical of Batman titles because it's like this Peter Parker thing where you're supposed to just re-watch or reread the same, origin story. And when I first read it, I was kind of prepared to criticize it, but on my second read, I liked it. So you might be knowing like Absolute Batman. This is the absolute title. So it started late last year, and we've had quite a few now: Absolute Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and so on. There's also an Absolute Hush, which I heard is getting a little slow because of some reasons. But talking about Absolute Batman, this is where they take out they change one feature or quite a few features in these characters. So Batman is not rich here. His origin story is different in a way that he's grown up in Gotham's different areas. So he's actually more aware of each and every nook and cranny of Gotham, and the story moves in two time periods. One is in the current, like crime riddled dark times, and then Alfred is actually like a vigilante, and Batman is there's a gym that he works out at. There's different references to it, so the world building is quite detailed here, and if you read it a couple of times, and it gives you enough reason. So there's something called a Crocs gym, and so this is how the story moves. And there is like friends of Batman, and the main villain here is like something called party animals who are doing these brutal killings, and it's kind of some vigilante justice thing going on. Mayor is Jim Gordon, and then Pennyworth actually starts investigating into this Batman character. But then when he sees him in action, he gets really impressed, and that's where this whole first arc is about. And this new Batman has different things, so he uses different parts of his armor as weapons, and like a lot of innovative things are used. And this is the kind of thing we expected to see in the Batman movie. I don't know we, but yeah, I certainly did. But it was not that impressive. And then there is different art styles, and there's also the origin story. And this whole arc is called Zoo, so the thing to do with party animals, and then also to do with Batman's origin story. So there's a lot of references and a lot of things that are tied in with the whole zoo part of it, or the animals. And I think it's a great first issue, and it's one of those things that starts a new kind of line or series. So um, overall, I would highly recommend Absolute Batman. I know it's just like an older book now, probably 8 months old or so, but trade paperback is also out of stock most of the places I checked. But I would want to get the Absolute Batman trade paperback. But this is the review of Absolute Batman. Coming to the next one, I picked up this quite by accident, like Future Begins Here Incoming. Like I said, didn't like it that much, but I still, before giving it away, so the good things or the takeaways from this would be that I got to know a lot of storylines. So, uh, and then this Marvel started this whole woke thing also around that time. So it's like this 2019, late 2019, 2020. So you do get a taste of a lot of these universes, a lot of comic books, but they are just haphazardly kind of put together. So I did like some things in it. I'm trying to remember what did I like. But I think this Immortal Hulk thing was cool, and because of it, I picked up some other titles on digital. So yeah, this was incoming. I did like some FF stuff, and I did like this last bit, and I'm trying to check which story is this. Yeah, I think it's this whole FF thing, and like X-Men and FF Fantastic Four kind of crossover. So it's like a teaser for Empire. So this was an event that happened in April. Not a very well kind of celebrated event. And as it happens in these events, they give the whole architect stuff like to design the event to a main kind of writer. So if you know, like in terms of the all-in event, Joshua Williamson son has been handling that, and now he's now moving to Marvel to take a break, I think, from DC. So all in, and he was one of the chief architects of this whole Absolute Universe along with Scott Snyder. So similar, like Al having did a lot of titles. So Immortal Hulk was, I think, one of his better titles, and then he also like wrote and designed the whole Empire event. So this is Marvel incoming. Coming to the next title, I picked this up purely for the cover. So this is like Teen Titans Academy, later volume like 7. So this is Jim Sheridan. I quite like the art in this one, and I'm generally always interested in Teen Titan books. But this was like towards like a later issue in this, so obviously I would miss the origin of it. But I liked it. The art was great, and there's some thing about these kind of pages that I really like. And what I did was I was able to find the Teen Titans Origins book on Kindle Unlimited, so I will be reading that. Then the good part about was that like a lot of these ads were there, so I got to know like this Justice Incarnate. It connects to the Infinite Frontier event, and there's a lot of things teased around uh, this multiverse concept. And then through this, I also got to know what this Wonder Woman evolution book. Uh, I think I read some pages of it. I think one of the worst looking Wonder Women. No offense, but very like something about this art style I didn't like. So I read some pages of Superman and Wonder Woman, and they look like malnourished or something. So particularly was not fond of the art. And then I did check some of these other titles. So Infinite Frontier, sorry, is something that I am really liking, and I'm getting tempted to pick it up, though it's a little older. But it talks about multiversity and then these different concepts, and there's a lot of references to multiversity. Some are very direct. So this is the Multiversity book by Grant Morrison. Um, Something that is great to go back to often. But obviously, it has a lot, I think, more than 400 pages or so of story, so it takes time. But Infinite Frontier, not only it's well written by Joshua Williamson, it's also very well drawn, and there is quite a good flow in this book. And obviously, the kind of pride stuff is getting uh, more and more into these books from the last few years, and this happened I think 2023. So um, yeah, so you can expect that. But apart from that, like story is quite good, and uh, I really like the uh, a typical comic book moves in terms of the flow. And I don't know some more of this stuff, but yeah, Infinite Warrior, Infinite Frontier, I keep messing it up, but Infinite Frontier is a great book, and this was the first volume. So this is where it references kind of this multiversity thing and Captain Carrot and so on. I do have some older Captain Carrot book, but I from this I did get to know for the first time about these titles like Icon and Rocket. I did try the sample of Icon and Rocket. That was also quite mediocre. But the good takeaway from this was like Infinite Frontier is really good, and I should read it. Coming to the next book, it's Deadpool. I purely picked this up on instinct and just wanted to have fun, and I was surprised with how well the jokes were. So Deadpool books either work or don't work at all. Like many people, I think everyone literally likes that Deadpool Wolverine movie, but I didn't like it by that time. I was too tired of Ryan Reynolds. But I've always found like Deadpool books better than the movies because of many reasons. Like if you don't like the jokes on one page, you can move to the other. But this book was quite a lot of fun. So Deadpool goes to this other universe, and then I mean, it's amazing how much story has been stuffed in these pages, and then manages to maintain the whole Deadpool vibe. So this is more of like Deadpool 2 movie, that teenage Negasonic warhead and those kind of characters. Art is great. There's not a single thing that is not to be liked about this. Uh, the good news is the good takeaway for me was like this book is available on unlimited. So I will be like reading Deadpool, and there's three or four trade paperbacks, and all are available on that. And so I will be getting into some Deadpool, and this was a really good buy, Deadpool by Scotty Young. Coming to the X books, so I did find my Captain Carrot comic. So this is again something that relates connects to the multiversity thing. It's quite an old book, faded pages and so, but the cover is really good. So coming to the X books, so X books are like on and off depending on who's the writer, but this one is done by Hickman called Inferno. Uh, Again, if you are familiar with these X books, they follow this whole format of like these inserts and these kind of pages, and there's a lot of like PowerPoint kind of stuff. But that's how they use this element of storytelling, which is quite cool. But this book looks great, like Inferno. It has like younger Charles Xavier and Magneto, and their whole kind of chemistry and then the evil thing in this is, or just this is an organization like Omega Sentinel, Nimrod, and this main characters are like X, Magneto, Moira, McTaggart, and so on. And Omega Sentinel and Nimrod are the evil guys. So I quite like this, like a classic X book, and this one was called Inferno, and again got to know about some more titles uh, of Marvel, and then I checked them out as well. But as a standalone kind of title, also it's quite nice, Inferno. And then I read Immortal X-Men. This one is done by Karen Gillian, and this one I did not like that much, but yeah, it has some things common with um, the X book like Inferno. This one is more like all over the place, and there's too many of these inserts, and it's known as a key issue. But yeah, in terms of story, it was really tough to follow. And this gives a whole timeline of like X Force and all these X books. And this was, I think, 2022, so it has the roster of all these X books. And it's about the Orchis Protocol, and yeah, some more ads of Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel. This is a big bad guy. Who is this guy in this actually? Okay, so this is Mr. Sinister is the main evil guy in this one. So divided into like in seasons, so like academy kind of thing. Yeah, overall an average book, but the cover is really cool. So I think that makes it a key issue. So this is pretty much my wrap. I also would like to show this Hellboy cover. And did I cover this book? No, I didn't. But this has like cool monsters. That's the only reason in Mike Mignola Hellboy universe. So Mignola doesn't do the art on this one. It's done by Duncan Fegredo. And Dave Stewart has also done colors on it. So it's like there's no reason why like this can't be picked up. And I got to know about these other books like Borealis. This is like an 80-page standalone science fiction story based in as like horror science fiction element, like classic 80s horror. And yeah, these are the titles I got to know. So the ads were like good takeaway from this. Operation Sunshine, not so much. And yeah, these were like more like movie kind of stories. But Hellboy itself was quite cool in this. There's a lot of like classic monster fights and so for that reason it was a good pick. It's quite a thin book, so it's tough to kind of get these pages to show properly. But yeah, this was Hellboy. So this was my overall wrap of mixed book reads of DC Marvel Dark Horse. There's no image, but yeah, pretty much DC Marvel Dark Horse. Thank you for watching.